Oh, I am not 29 anymore. Well, welcome back to American Beef Ranch. We have got plenty of work to do today because water's coming. These calves keep getting out. It's just frustrating. So get these calves put up. I found the problem. These calves have been going in between these two wires here, and they're probably getting shocked a little bit. The problem is the bottom wire is loose, and so of course they are walking through the fence, and it's the same 5 calves every day. Come on. So these are a couple yearlings, or they will be yearlings in, I don't know, 2 months. So they'll be butchered next year. These are a couple yearling steers, but it's been steers and heifers. So like, look, watch. He'll probably just turn his head and go through. Maybe not. You know, they respect hot wire pretty well, but they are running low on grass over here, and that's okay. I got some more grass coming, but I got to wait for the water to get in the ditch, and that's not going to be until, you know, 3 or 4 more days. So they're just going to have to figure it out. There's enough grass, and of course they're going to run off and be idiots. But so what I'm going to go ahead and do, let's fix this wire. That way, hopefully, these other ones that are causing trouble don't come back through the fence, because the rest of the fence looks pretty good actually. So, and like I said, they respect hot wire pretty well. I need to get a better ground rod. It's working. Let's unplug. I'm just gonna get this wire started unwrapping, and then once I get a hold of it with my hand, it should come out pretty easy. This is aluminum wire, so it's really soft and really malleable. It's really good for very temporary, very cheap fences, which is exactly what this is. I don't know if this can be the permanent setup or not here, but we had to have a fence and we had to have it now, so this was the best option. It literally has to be tightened up that much, and now the fence is tight again. So for now, we're just gonna do this, and we'll see how it goes. I'm sure these calves are gonna try it again, but hopefully now that this is tight, they will not mess with it as much. So there we go, one fix. And make sure that's tight, that's tight. This is Gallagher M120. It's been a good little fencer for us. I don't know a whole lot about fencers. I mean, I know a little bit, but this plug-in one, we're right here by the house, so it's been good. And it hurts when you get hit by it. I know that much. Well, the next thing on the list is that pump needs to get mounted up over there. The problem with that is, I don't know if you guys know, but pumps aren't necessarily, at least this size, very light. So I need to go grab the backhoe, that way we can lift it up and place it right over there. And then I've got new bolts and gaskets so we can get it all bolted on. I'm not sure if I have all the electrical parts. I may or may not. That's kind of why I want to do this today, so I know, because we will get water hopefully Thursday. Today is Saturday, so I'm going to walk over and grab the backhoe, then walk back. And I do this a lot when I'm working by myself, because it's just the way that it is, because I need the tools in the truck and the bolts in the truck, and I could drop those off and then just drive and get the backhoe. That sounds like a better idea, doesn't it? Bolts and gasket, I'm going to leave that here. I'm going to do the smart thing, hopefully drive the pickup over and grab the backhoe. Probably grab the chain first, which is over here on the ground, and then we'll get that stuff all taken care of. I'll make sure I pull this tree out too, because these Russian olive trees, they just go everywhere and they grow randomly, and it's annoying, and they're an invasive species, so we don't need them. Good. Well, here's one of the projects I actually worked on without you guys. So this pond here was really bad, and it doesn't look very good, and that's because I'm not a professional excavator. Who would have thought? But this was filled in with silt, so I dug a lot of it out. But at the same time, we had a sinkhole over here in this side of the pond, right underneath here, and we could not get the pond to fill up whatsoever. So instead of fighting it, what I decided to do is fill in the sinkhole, raise the entire level of the pond above the ditch. And I know these are going to settle, that's why they're very high compared to like that edge over there. But that way we can fill in this pond, and now the pond level can be a lot higher. That'll make the pump run a lot better, and that'll make this entire system that runs this corner and our little 12-acre field and some other stuff we're going to do over there way better. So that's why this is here. I just went ahead and stole some dirt from over there. We built up all the way along the edge, and obviously I put it back pretty far. That way it's not encroaching and falling in, but I expect this to settle quite a bit. But hopefully, now that we have this built up here and this hole filled in, this sinkhole won't be a problem for this pond anymore. Because I mean, there's a lot of dirt here. So hopefully it won't be a problem, but it could be, you never know. I also did some more work down here that we'll look at later, but let's get that pump on. What are the odds of this thing starting good today? I'll take that. This thing's been a pain in the butt lately. I guess when you fill it up with fuel, antifreeze, engine oil, hydraulic oil, it runs a lot better. Who would have thunk? All right, now I've done this quite a few times, not to say that I'm an expert in it, just to say that I've done this and this is what I found and how I found that it works best. Now these pumps are heavy. They're not completely unmanageable by yourself, but I have found that there's ways you can chain these guys up to make life a lot easier when you're doing things. And well, hey, there's a drain valve I broke off, so I'm gonna have to get those parts, but always something. So come down and so these pumps are vertically mounted, so that's the reason we do it this way. And honestly, that would probably work. In fact, I think I can get away with that. Just mounting it this way. Yeah, I can. So that's all I'm gonna do this time, and I'll be real careful backing it up over there. That did not make me look bad at all. Now, before we get too rambunctious, I just want the safety Nazis to notice that the safety chain is still attached. So while I'm moving this pump around and it looks kind of scary, like I could hurt myself, which I still probably could, the safety chain is still attached. So I'm just gonna walk this pump around to where it needs to go. And then we're gonna start getting the bolts and the gaskets all lined up. Because actually, I may have to go get the pickup now, just because this pipe here is severely down, and I may have to use the jack to jack this thing up. Hopefully I can get in here with the jack. I already need to get in here with the weed eater and freaking get after some of this stuff, just because it's already kind of, grass is already taken over and it's not the best. But what I am gonna do is get these bottom bolts aligned. We'll get a couple bolts in, and I went ahead and, you know, got new bolts because the old ones were super rusty and they're just hard to deal with. And in the grand scheme of things, bolts are cheap and it just makes my whole life easier. It took me, I think it took me 45 minutes to get this pump off, because you have to do it by hand. You can't get power tools in here with the way these are set up. And doing it that way, I had to get all these rusty bolts off, and it just was a pain in the butt, and most of them were too long anyway for this setup. So it's nice to just have new bolts, and then I'll have 4 bolts down here holding on so I can undo the safety chain. We can go grab the pickup, and this is exactly why having the pickup around is important. Oh, and yeah, the bottom gasket is still way good, because I had this pump off here last year because we were having weeds and stuff, or stuff gets stuck in them. So yeah, we now have 4 bolts holding this guy on. It ain't, you know, I could do the old that ain't going nowhere. let's go grab the pickup. So I actually remember the last time I did this, I'd use the backhoe because I can't get the jack under here that I have, the handyman jack, because it's too low. So we'll just use the backhoe to pick up on this. And then I'll be able to slide my gasket in there and get the holes bolted together. How close are we there? Let's see what we can do here. I'm hoping we get to rebuild this pump station this year. Set this up a little bit different, add a filter, all that fun stuff, just to make it that much better. Gotta come up a little more. This one down here, it's real close, but no cigar. That's it. Oh, look, here's some of the old hardware. Yeah, rusty, really rusty. Why do I keep grabbing the same short bolt versus what the new guys look like? There we go. Those are all pretty square. I can go ahead and snug those down. Everybody always wonders, or I've had people comment, why do you wear gloves all the time? Well, I rode bucking horses, and the one hand, I was one of the ones with the handle. And so I wedged the one hand in there, and so that's pulled all the tendons in my hand and made them not work as good. And then with this hand, I had to double grab, and that's what I got out of trouble with, I guess you could say. So my hands don't work as good as they should, and I'm just trying to protect them as much as I can, so when I get older my hands still work somewhat. So yeah, that's why I wear gloves for almost everything when I can. And plus it's smart, it helps protect you from getting hurt as bad, like pinched and stuff like that. That's kind of where I notice it the most. It doesn't save you from everything, but a lot less nicks and problems. I am going to go ahead and tighten these bottom ones before I let the chain down, just because if I let the chain down it'll tip the pump this way a little bit. Alright, mounted. Now I just got to do the electrical, and that shouldn't be too difficult. I just hope I have all the parts, because this is a new motor. Okay, the pump is bolted on. I think I'm gonna have to get a couple things to get it wired, but I gotta go to the pickup anyway to get some things. Now that that's done, I really don't know what I'm gonna do now, but I'll find something to do. So I have decided that this pond is no longer big enough to satisfy the needs of the farm. We need more water holding capacity in case maybe we have a leak or we have a ditch rider screw up or something. We just need a little more holding capacity. So what I'm gonna do is I can't really make it any wider than this. But what I can do is there's a lead-in pond or lead-in trench over there through this pipe, which doesn't need to be there. So I'm just gonna make this whole section wider. I wanna leave enough room where I can drive through here. But other than that, we got a lot of digging to do. Well, we're getting rained out. It's already too sticky, but I've already added about probably a third capacity to the pond, so that's a good start. And my plan is just to kind of keep taking that corner off to about right there. Move all of that dirt basically back and over. That way the pond has a nice, pretty straight line over there. And then we'll have to clean out the ditch a little bit, but I'm gonna go get out of the rain.